hate school too much.
First of all, you ain't even combed your hair. So I gotta I'm doing a detangling service too.
Throw some water in
Water ain't gonna, well, you know what? We gonna try to make water do it. So guess what, y'all? Y'all might be getting a whole detangling. I've never taken a physics class, no.
Bro, that shit is hard. That is some shit where it's like you really have to learn that shit like through high school. Like
you can't just run up on us if you haven't had any like back training to it.
Yeah, and I was like, damn, looking back at it now, I said I kind of hate public school because everybody was either being bad in the class,
right.
The teacher couldn't teach, or nobody just didn't really have the energy to teach kids like, you know, majority of us, because it's like they probably not going to use it anyway. They probably wouldn't even make it to college. You know what I mean? Because most people in Nashville don't even go to TSU. I only know about like 5 or 6 people that stay somewhat in Nashville or like 30 minutes out the city.
From your class?
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole campus though. Everyone else, Memphis, Florida, Chicago, Atlanta, Alabama, Mississippi. You know what I mean? Like, there is almost nobody from Nashville that goes to TSU. And then we had those 2 weeks, the snow days or whatever. Mm-hmm. It pushed school back that long for some reason, and honestly, it should have only pushed us back 1 week. So that kind of affected the professors because like the amount of time that they had to teach stuff, they couldn't go over everything for real. So they was just like speed running a new lesson every week. And it's just like, if it take you years to master physics, you want us to do all this in 3 months? Like, that's just not possible. I mean, with pre-cal, yeah, because it's not nothing too crazy, you know? It's just, remember this formula, and it can work for multiple different equations, you know? Physics, each question, like, you know, there's at least like 1 or 2 formulas, and you have to put them together, you know what I mean? And it's just like, man. And then it's not like even like numbers for real. Like when we got a question, we have to put the words into a formula. You know, it's not like it's gonna automatically say, hey, use this form. You know what I mean?
You have to know the formula.
Yeah, and you gotta like know the words.
You have to memorize the formulas.
Yeah, and like you gotta know the words too. That's what really sucked.
That's learning. What's your major?
Aeronautical industrial tech.
Yeah, so it don't even sound easy. It's not even easy to say. What definitely isn't going to be easy to study.
Nah, I mean, it's crazy because like out of all the stuff that I learned in his class, he only talked about 2 things that related to my major. The rest of that stuff was just talking. You know what I mean? Like,
well, that's probably when you said that you kind of upset about public school. That's kind of probably what you were thinking in public school too. Listening, being like, I mean, this ain't. I'm not gonna use this. I'm not gonna need this. And now look at it. Then came back.
Nah, cause we didn't even. The only physics that we even talked about at Maplewood was physical science, and that had nothing to do with physics.
Right.
Like it literally had nothing to do with it. And then here go our professor. Y'all learned this in high school, right? No, we didn't. Maybe in your era, yeah, because I actually cared about education for real, you know? But no, we didn't actually do this.
Like, y'all was going to school so y'all mama wouldn't get locked up.
Yeah, and y'all actually have to use books, you know? We can just use Chat GPT. Like, imagine how hard it was back then. Like, dang. And guess how many hours my professor said he had to study for? A week when he was taking physics. Yeah.
That's just a week?
Yeah, just a week. Guess how many hours he had to study for a hard class like that. And mind you, this was every week too. Like he literally said, like this gonna be one of the classes where it's like, when it comes to events and like activities, like you might have to put all that stuff on hold. I was like, for real? He's like, yeah. He said,
You
no.
think that's why it's hard because you ain't put it on hold like you was supposed to?
I mean, he was saying 40 hours a week at minimum, and I was like, bro, no. Like people got jobs, so we got other hard classes on top of that, and you want us to do 40 hours a week? Like we been here for almost 2 hours, and we barely like understand what you doing. But yeah, that's what he was saying. And he said that was just for physics 1. And I was like, oh my God. I'm asking some people that's in my major, I'm like, do you gotta take physics too? And they was like, no, I'm pretty sure we don't. I'm like, okay, that's good. Just to find out we gotta take physics too. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? But in my head, like when that first week of like them first 2 weeks of class, I was like, you know what? I just gotta find a way to cheat. Fuck this shit. Or whatever. Because even my dean was saying that like when we had like our first meeting or whatever, like everybody in our major came together. One of the other deans was saying that, hey, you know, a lot of people they've been struggling with this major because you know just of physics. And I was like, yeah, that look is hard. And our dean was just like, well, you know, there's only one way to get around it, and that's if you go to a community college. And I was like, community? I was like, nah, that's just add more time. And I was just like, you know what? I guess I'm just gonna have to. So me, you know, the mastermind that I am, I done came up with a little scheme.
You can't just
Yeah.
the mastermind that you are. You figured it out.
Yeah, and just for the first test, guess what he did?
What?
He said, everybody put your backpacks at the front with your phones in it. And I'm like, are you gonna think we in middle school or something?
Because he know y'all be scheming.
But he didn't separate us enough. He just let us sit wherever we wanted to. And I was like, you know what? It could still probably work. And then look, the dude I asked to help, I said I was gonna pay him and all that. He said, nah, I understand, bro. I can do it for free. And I was like, man, that's right there. And I was basically just like, you know, I'm gonna give you my calculator. It's gonna have a sheet of paper in it. And you go give me my calculator before you leave the class. Cause he said we can if we don't got a calculator and another student got an extra one, we can use that student. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, okay. Even if we don't got our phones or whatever, it should still be somewhat easy, you know? He passing out the test, and I'm looking at my neighbor, and I'm like, hold up, I ain't even put this into consideration for real. I was like, on a little sheet of paper, I threw it at her. I was like, do we all got the same answers? She said no. I was like, there ain't nothing I can do. Just for next week, he giving us out our tests. And guess what he say about him? He says, well, just for y'all, if y'all wanted to cheat, I didn't just make 2 variants. He made 4 variants of the test. And I'm like, 4? That's kind of OD, don't you think? Like, you made 4 variants? Like,
only somebody who was about to cheat would even consider it, though.
like, damn, 4? What? And then it's crazy because the first girl that I originally asked to cheat off of, she said no because she said she wasn't even confident for real. Like, she didn't even know what to study. And she ended up getting a 70. And I was like, bruh, you still passed. Like, what the hell? And guess what majority of the class got?
Yeah.
40s and 50s. Like, it was so bad. I think only like 2 people like passed the test with like a B or above. Like, out of the 20-something people we had in the class. Like, it was so bad. He was like, okay, class, I'm gonna give you 2 weeks to do test corrections on the 4 show your work questions. And he said, I'll give 40% back if you can get them all right. And I was like, thank God, he's a real one. Like 40%. Like,
That was on a final, or that was just
no, this
a
was
test?
this was the first. And then mind you, he even said it. The first test is the hardest test out the semester. So it was kind of like, damn, I kind of feel like we kind of got set up a little bit. Not gonna lie. Because we already had them 2 weeks out of school or whatever. And then we didn't even like actually go to his class to like the beginning of the 2nd week for real or whatever. So that was that. And I was like, you know what? At least he's giving us 40% back, you know? So I was just asking like some of the smart people in my friend group, like, hey, anybody good at physics? And this Muslim dude who I'm cool with, he was like, yeah, man. He's like, we can go over it. And I was like, all right, bet. So like the week, we pick out a week and all that to go over it. Tell me why I ended up losing my test or whatever, Carla.
You lost the one that you were going to be able to do over?
Yeah, when he gave it back. And I was like, damn. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to still try anyway. So I asked my homegirl, I was like, hey, can I see, what you got for the last 4 questions or whatever? She's like, sure. And this was a girl that got a 70, mind you. And she pretty much got half of the show your work questions right. And I was like, oh, okay, so I just got to do the other 2, basically. So me and my friend, we in the library, we going over it. We get them out the way, boom. And it's just like, okay. I'm going to just tell them straight up, like, hey, on the original test you passed out, I gave a 42, I'm going to be honest with you. But my homegirl, and then mind you, my homegirl, she didn't even do the little makeup questions because she got a 70.
So she was just like, I'm taking it.
Yeah. And so I just told him straight up, I was like, hey, this is my homegirl's questions. She didn't even try to make them up. And I wrote all of I wrote all the questions on 2 separate sheets of paper because these questions were real long, Carly. These long questions, at least 4 to 7 parts per question or whatever. And he was like, I'll see what I can do. And I was like, okay, cool, bet. So our second test that we had to do, I ain't even gonna lie, I pretty much just flunked that one or whatever. Which, it kind of sucks, to be honest with you, because he gave us a practice test beforehand online, and it was basically the same or whatever. And it turns out we had a girl in our group meet, she answered every single question, and she sent it in the chat. And I was like, you know what? I got this shit on my phone. All right, so look, this time I had to come up with a little different plan. I was like, I'm gonna bring this time, you feel me? So I gave him, one of my little old Androids. I put that up in front of the classroom. And I went to the bathroom so I could, pull up the answers on my phone. And it was like, oh, okay, how'd you fail this one? And guess what happened?
How'd you fail it?
I forgot to bring my pencil with me to the bathroom.
Oh, wait a minute. So you were going to write the answers down and go back?
Mm-hmm.
Just moving too fast.
No, because he likes to be, lenient with us because if he just put straight show your work questions, nobody's not gonna finish that test on time. So he do half multiple choice and then 4 to 6 show your work questions or whatever. So he did that and I was like, damn, I can remember, the multiple choice questions because, I just gotta remember, what the answer is. And I was like, damn. I really forgot my pencil.
Hi, Lee.
So I pretty much flunked that.
And all the time it took for you to do all that scheming and scamming, you could have just been sitting there learning it.
True. But you have to sit down and just take into what he actually be teaching. It's there's no way he wants to get this down in 2 weeks or less. And then mind you, it's not just one topic you're going over. It's 3 to 4 different sections. You know what I mean? And he wants us to get basically be masterminds of it. It's that's not my type of department when it comes to being mastermind and shit. That's in other departments, But I pretty much flunked that test. And I was like, are you gonna let us, make up the show your work question? He was like, no. And I was like, well, damn. Because he said, in his words, he said we only have to do good on 1 test to pass the class, Carla. Because we have 4 tests. Grading system off a little bit or whatever. Because when I was looking at his syllabus, because a 70 in TSU now is considered a C. It used to be a 75, but a 70 is a C now.
See, they doing everything they can to make y'all.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. A lot of times it's hard to even understand the professors for real. Teach them hard classes. I got somebody from Zimbabwe. You know what I mean? It's don't get me wrong. I get black excellence, but it's brother, you can barely
understand.
You know what I mean? It's
that was my problem in business math. I couldn't understand the ladies. I already couldn't understand the numbers.
Yeah, and then they teach so fast.
Yes.
Okay, we get it. But in America, it's not really like that. Like,
No, it's like that. We just don't. Because
Yeah.
I'm sure in Africa, it's people that don't take their education serious either. But
they thinking like we just already automatically learned this stuff. Like, no, most of these people, they haven't even learned this shit in their junior or senior year in high school, you know? But anyway, he said we can't we can't make up the show your work questions for the second test. But you know what he did say? He said, if you miss the test, come to me office hours so we can schedule, like, you know, to retake it. And I was like, you know what? I don't got nothing to lose. And even though I came to class on time and took the test, oh, I forgot to tell you. So for our second test, he actually had a substitute or whatever. One of the other physics professors, he had a substitute. And so I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna just go up here and ask him anyway, can I retake it? And even I already took it. And he was like, yeah. He gave me a time and date and everything. And I was like, are you for real? In my mind, I'm like, are you for real right now? So he gave me like Friday to come take the test or whatever, right? I'm thinking we gonna be in the classroom, but guess where we was at?
the library,
Yeah, we was in like the little
yeah.
the teachers lounge, and guess who was all in there?
the teachers,
No, it was
the
just,
monitors.
Nah, it was just my professor and another physics professor or whatever. But it was like 6 students in there asking about homework or whatever, right? And I was like, damn, there's really a lot of people that really be coming to his office hours for homework help. But I mean, like, yeah, because it's a hard class, you know? But guess what he does with me, though?
What?
When he gives me my test, he brings me to a separate room, Carla.
Cause he know you your little sneaky
Nah,
tail.
he put me in a separate room by myself while he went to go help out the other people in like the other room with their homework. And I was like, you can't be serious right now.
So that means you had nothing but air opportunity to do what you
Man, I
wanted
got
to
on my
do.
phone. I went to that that homegirl sent, and I looked at it and I said, it's literally the same test. What? Oh, I got too happy with that. I almost got up and started picking my feet together. And then when he finally came back in to check on me, mind you, before I even pulled my phone out, I had just wrote down all the, you know, from when we first took our test. I wrote all like the questions and shit down on a separate sheet of paper, and I asked my homeboy. I was like, hey, can you help me go over this real quick? And he was like, yeah. So I wrote like all the answers down on a separate sheet of paper, you know, just to be safe, just in case, you know what I mean? Because sometimes the test, it can be the same or it can be different or whatever. But when I saw that the questions that I wrote on the back of the sheet of my paper was the same as the file that the homegirl sent in the group me, I was like, the paper no more. But you know, I'm gonna still make it seem like I'm working them out on a separate sheet of paper, you know what I mean? So when he came over to get my attendance for like, taking the test over, he was looking at my second sheet of paper, and I was like, please don't notice, please don't notice. And he finally walked away. And then like 20 minutes later, he come back, and guess what he said? He says, I got to go to a meeting or whatever. So whenever you get done with the test, if so-and-so's still in the office, give it to her. Or if she's not, just slide it under my classroom door. And I was like, okay. Right. So when he left and the other teacher left, I just pulled my phone out and I was like, this is an easy D or an A. You know, I still had to get some of them wrong to make, you know what I mean? Make it believable. So I slid it under his door, and it was a Friday too. I walked out that building too happy. And I was like, this calls for a celebration. Like, what you mean? Like, I'm finna get geek or whatever. So next week he's turning our test back out. He's giving our test back out or whatever, right? You know, the makeup test. And I don't see mine. And I'm like, hey, you know, where's my test at? So you know, I gave it, you know, I turned it into you. You said Boswell, you said room 140, right? He's like, yeah. I said, I slid it under there. And he talking about, he couldn't find it. But mind you, he gave me back my original second test with the 40 on it or whatever. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna still just keep bugging him because, like, I mean, if you let me retake it, you might as well give me the grade I did on the retake. You know what I mean? Like, even though you said we couldn't retake it, like, why'd you even give me the date anyway to retake your test? And so he said, oh, you know, I'm gonna look for it, blah, blah, blah. 2 weeks later go by, Carla. Mind you, the finals is gonna come up. And he said whatever we get on the finals is basically whatever we get in the class.
In the class.
Yeah. But I'm still asking him, like, hey, where's the second test at? You know what I mean? And then look, he still didn't do our first test that we did.
sure did.
But nah, he ended up finding it, and I was like, damn, I could have got 100 on it. But it's still saying the grade, but that my second test still a 40, and I was like, hold up now, hold up.
Yeah, that's right. Fix that.
It's a retake on. So that's already 2 tests I haven't got back from him or whatever, right? So he was like, you know what, I'ma still keep looking for him, blah, 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 or whatever. And so he finally gave me back the first test or whatever, right? And guess what he gives me?
What?
He only gives me one. He only gave me like 1 page out of the 2 pages I turned in. I'm like, you're missing the second page that I did for the other 2 questions. And he was like, I am? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, well, I looked for it and I couldn't find it. And I was like, so can I get my full percent? Like, I did all 4 of the questions. You only gave me 2 back. And he was like, you know, if I can't find it, I'm gonna just give you a passing grade for it. And I was like, that works too. So that's 1 test down or whatever, right? So the second test coming around, he talking about he still can't find it. And then look, we only got a week left before the final. And he says, if I can't, it's like, I had to tell him, I said, you know, my grades still say a 40, you know? And he was like, you sure? And I was like, yeah. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, damn, what if he, you know, he did, I mean, cause he is like an older guy or whatever. So it's like, I mean, he's been teaching at TSU for like 25 years, I think. And he's probably in his mind thinking like, there ain't no way that if he retook the test and there's already a grade in here, you know what I mean? I was like, damn, hope you don't put 2 and 2 together. But if he did, I would have been like, nah, that 40 is actually from the first test and you just misplaced it in test 2. You know what I mean?
You think he'll remember?
Nah, but anyway, it don't matter because when we get to the end, you gonna be like, damn, I'm proud of you, Mark. But anyway, the final come around, and then I'm just like, you know what, I gotta lock in because basically I can't really go off of what the second test grade is, you know, because hey, he might correct it or he might not correct it. So I know I just gotta at least do decent or whatever. But here's the catch in his class though. So our homework, guess how many homework assignments he assigned us, Carla?
1.
No, this man assigned us 60 homework assignments.
60?
Yes.
So basically, every time you left his class, you had something to do.
Pretty much. But look, all those, like, those 60 lessons, well, it was really like 30 and 30. But we've only got to do, I think we only got to make it to like, I think we made it to like 13, 14 lessons, I think. So really like 13, 14 homework assignments out of the 60. And I'm thinking, I'm like, in my mind, it's like, why does majority of this stuff say May 31st and school get out? I think May 4th, I think. I don't know, but anyway, I was like, I definitely can't do all these homework assignments. So I had to hit up my boy that lives in Africa. I think I already told you, didn't I? Because one of my homies that live in Chicago, he put me on with him when we was taking chemistry together, right? And he was like, bro, this dude that live in Africa, or whatever. And so that's how me and him, we passed chemistry last semester. And so I hit him up again. I'm like, hey, Kevin, you think you can help us out? You know what I mean? And he was like, yeah. And he said, physics is my favorite. And I'm like, well, guess what?
That's your friend in Africa?
Yeah.
My physics is my favorite?
Uh-huh.
That's
Kevin.
what I'm talking about.
And I told him, I said, listen, man, I already done missed like 5 homeworks or whatever. Our professor, he gonna let us make them up all at the end of the, you know, like the last week of school or whatever. So I just need you from now on to mainly, I need to be your main client. So I said, I got you if I pass the class to make it be like, hey, I'm your golden goose, you feel me? Or whatever. So eventually he came through. It's all that good shit. I'm like, man, my boy Kevin is really working over here. I mean, I was in Africa. Hey, pass this class. Like, if honestly, my advisor said if I don't even pass all my classes, I get suspended. And if I get suspended, I ain't gonna lie to you. I was just say, fuck it. School life's not for me, so I really didn't care. I just wanted to be his first paying, you know, his first priority. You know what I mean? Homework assignment. You know what I mean? And this 60 homework assignments, Carla, think about it. It was like 9 multiple choice, in 6 straight work. I know I got all 9 right.
I can't hold this right.
I said about my mama.
No, you're right. I got it. Oh, with him, you understood when you were studying with him.
Yeah. I ended up getting I got a A in the lab though, physics lab, but that's because we was in groups, you know what I mean? So if you got 2 or like 1 or 2 smart people in the group, you know what I mean? Hey, we in there. And I just did the same thing I did with the final of the lecture. Our final for our lab physics, it was the exact same thing that he had on the practice test. So I passed that. I think I did too. I mean, clearly I did something good, you know. But the final was only worth 10% in this class, so. But that's because like all the other 10 labs he had, it was all 10% too, so it all stacked up on top of each other. And then, I ain't know, her professor was really cool though. He said if there was any lab that you missed out, you got to the end of so-and-so to turn them in. So
Oh, wow, okay.
So it was like, if somebody had some answers, they could just send them to you. You know what I mean?
So it was teamwork in there.
Yeah, it was teamwork in there. So that's why I was like, you know what? I ain't really tripping about the lab if I got to take lab again. So at first, I got a C in this class. Then it went to a B. Then it went to an A somehow, which was like, you know what? Hey, that's on my resume. I got an A in physics lab. Don't ask me, you know what I mean? Just, hey, I passed it. That's all that matters, right?
You learned what you were supposed to learn in the process.
Yeah, I guess.
You did.
But when it came to the lecture, that like I said, this was the class where I was just like, damn, I gotta pass it. I got to. By the grace of God, I ended up getting like an 85 in that class. I said, oh my God, your boy, I can flex on people now. Your boy is a physics major. Your boy, I know what torques is. I know what vectors are. I know what motherfucking velocity. Oh, yeah. Somebody come at me. Yeah.
Finally.
Shut up.
Finally, for now.
Yeah, for now.
Now you gotta teach somebody else so you don't forget it.
Yeah, once I pass physics 2, all that shit going out the door.
No, it's not. You gotta teach somebody else. That's the only way you gonna remember.
Nah, I'm
Because it's gonna come back. You got 3 more years in school.
Nah, 2.
You going the whole way.
Once I get done with this physics, that's literally all my hard classes out the way. Literally. Because I got my math out the way. Oh, I got to see my pre-cal. That's another thing. I passed pre-cal and I passed both physics classes this semester, Carly.
Oh, you can't tell you nothing.
That's what I'm saying. You know how hard, even if I did have to cheat to some extent, you know how hard that was?
So does that mean you just got them all out so next year should be easier?
I mean, I still got to take physics, but besides that, I don't got no hard classes besides physics.
So you can just sit there and learn what you need to learn.
Yeah, after I get done with this next physics course, all my other classes is strictly on aviation. And that's why I'm not really tripping if I gotta wait like another year. Because if I would have got suspended, that just would have been worse. I'm a YouTuber. This is my dropout story, y'all. I know every single YouTuber got one. I joined the list, y'all.
Not the dropout story.
I joined the list, y'all. Fuck it. I pulled a Bill Gates. Minus the getting over on my friend's part, you know.
Hey y'all, long time no see. This is Too Much Hair. So we got y'all favorite client back in here today. It's been almost a year since I styled his hair, and I can tell, and I know y'all can see that he had a lot to tell me. Homeboy couldn't wait to get in here and fill me up on his last year of school. And I'm always excited to hear him. He's always so excited to talk. But as you can see, I'm finishing up this blow dry, and yes, honey, he needs his ends trimmed bad, but we didn't trim his ends today. I didn't do a scratch today either. As I stated earlier, his hair was way too tangled for that. It would not have done anything positive for his hair. I tried to do that little bitty corner piece when I first got started, and that's when I decided that I wasn't going to be able to do this. I was just going to go harder or deeper on the shampoo and make sure that I got his scalp really, really good. And you can tell that we did. We still had some flakes that were trapped in his hair, and they came out with the blow dry. We also didn't really style his hair. I think I gave him like 4 braids. But this was mostly a shampoo video. I wanted to come through and give you guys something. I know I've been gone for a while. I know you miss me. I miss you too. But I have some things coming for you coming up soon. So please don't give up on me yet. Enjoy my channel. Go back and look at some old videos. Still support me. I'm still here. I ain't going nowhere. And I'll be back. Thank you for supporting my page. I'm glad that you stayed through this whole video, and I will be uploading that little piece that I did try to scratch onto shorts. So come find this short. I think I'm going to upload it on the same day that I upload this video. So thanks again. I love you guys. See you soon.
Our little group, we was communicating a lot, so we could help each other out. We're playing the length still though.
Yeah. If you want to look at it like that, the length is still there. However, you got so many dead ends. We ain't gonna worry about them because I know you don't want to worry about them. But for you to have been gone so long, I was expecting much more than this.
Well, I don't get my dead ends trimmed. I think that was like the second time I ever got my ends trimmed was by you.